And you're above the tree line, so you're just switching.
Okay,
We're almost ready.
hey, I am Sandy McKee, the Chair of CB6. This meeting is called to order at 7:04 PM. Tonight, we are joined by Secretary Olivia Shrednick, District Manager Jesus Perez, Assistant District Manager Brendan Berth, and Community Coordinator Brian Lafferty. Welcome to the September 11th, 2024 full board meeting of Manhattan Community Board 6. We'd like to take a moment of silence to remember what happened this day 23 years ago and keep in our memories the victims of that day and those who continue to suffer. Thank you. We observe the following ground rules at our meetings. New York State law requires all community board members who are not able to attend the meeting in person to have their cameras on and their first and last names displayed from the time the meeting is called to order until the time the meeting is adjourned. No one may speak until granted the floor. Please raise your hand and wait for me to recognize you. It is important that only one person speaks at a time so that members of the public watching at home can understand what is being said. It is important that only one person speaks at a time. Sorry, repeat that again. So you got it the first time, I'm sure. Members of the public, if you wish to give remarks during the public session and have not already registered by filling out a form, you can register to speak in the public session on Zoom by using the Q&A feature and posting your name, affiliation, and specific topic you wish to speak about. If you are here in person to speak in the public session, you need to fill out our public speaker form, which is near the sign-ins for the CB6 newsletter. This needs to be done by 7:15. The agenda for tonight's meeting was distributed ahead of time by the board office, was posted online, and appears on the screen before you.
It is having some difficulty. It doesn't want to appear on the screen.
Yeah, I saw you just had the agenda online. Maybe
Yeah,
that's the
I'll
route.
have to show it online. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
that might be the route to go.
And of course, everyone here read the agenda ahead of time. So, if there are no objections, we will adopt the agenda as stated. Board members, if you have object to it, if you object to adopting the agenda, you may raise your hand. Seeing no objections, the agenda for tonight's meeting is adopted. Our secretary, Olivia Shrednick, will now take attendance by roll call.
Board members, when your name is called, please say present. Majed Abdul Samad.
Present.
Tanya Arias.
Present.
Kyle Fade. Neil Barkley.
Present.
Martin Barrett.
Not here.
Elvie Barroso.
Present.
Jim Cullen.
Here.
Jonathan Dorico.
Absent.
Stuart Deser. Beatrice Disman.
Present.
Sorry,
Mike
Stewart's here.
Monaco. Present. Robert Fairbairn.
Here, present.
Brock Freeman.
Present.
Jason Fromowitz.
Present.
Eric Goldberg.
Present.
Justin Goldberg.
Present.
Gloria Hage.
Present.
Rabia Iqbal.
Present.
Paige Judge.
Present.
Rupal Kakai.
Present.
John Keller.
Present.
Nadeem Kalani. Katie Londa.
Present.
Sandra Lecca.
Present.
David Levy.
Present.
David Lowenstein.
Present.
Anton Mulner.
Present.
Sandra McKee.
Present.
Alec Militic.
Absent.
Richard Mintz.
Absent.
Kevin O'Keefe.
Present.
Reshma Patel.
Present.
Stephen Perez.
Absent.
Miriam Ralph. Present. Michael Anro,
Present.
Roberto Ruiz Melendez. Lauren Shayer,
Present.
Ann Seligman. Here. Sandro Sharon. Olivia Shrenick, present. Lubin Siddiqui. Present. Letty Simon.
Present, and Paige Judge, I'm remembering your cousin Michael Judge today.
Susan Steinberg. Present. Mark Thompson.
He needs a link. He's remote, but he hasn't received the link to join.
I'm looking into that.
Gabriel Churza. James Fura. Jerry Weinstein.
Present.
Sarah Whittington.
Present.
Hader Zeddy.
With 34 members,
Thank you. With 34 members duly present, we do have quorum.
Our elected officials have sent their reports ahead of time and they are compiled on the CB6 website. The link to the reports was sent out ahead of time and for your convenience can be found in the chat on Zoom or in going to our website page for full board meetings. I will now call on each of the elected officials who have RSVP'd so that they can take questions from CB6 members and the public about their pre-submitted reports. Each elected official will be able to field questions. If there are no questions, we will move on to the next elected official on the list. If an elected official has a time-sensitive matter to report on that didn't make it into their pre-submitted report, they will have 3 minutes to do so. During this part of the meeting, we'll also hear from government agency representatives who've requested to address the board tonight. And we have with us Assembly Member Alec Boras, who's going to go first.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you to all of you for having me. I hope everyone had a wonderful summer. It's great to be back in person with everyone. I just want to share a couple quick updates that were in the report and then happy to answer any questions. The two big ones being that I came before this board and spoke about what we were trying to do with e-bikes and mopeds and micromobility. We had a really good conversation about that the last time I was here. Two of the bills that came out of that were actually signed by the governor in, I believe it was July 12th, I'm gonna say, someone will fact check me plus or minus a day. And those two bills, first required that we collect real data on e-bikes and e-scooters and any of the crashes on our street, including about cars and motorcycles and any other vehicle, because right now the collision report forms just say passenger vehicle, pedestrian or motorcycle, and that's it. And so we haven't had real data on what's going on the streets. We're gonna change those forms and we're gonna update that. And it's also gonna require a serious investigation anytime that an e-bike has caused a serious accident or death, the same way is already required of motorcycles or cars, but shockingly wasn't required of e-bikes. The second bit is that we're gonna require that mopeds, it's fixing a registration loophole in mopeds. They're already required to be registered in New York State, but they almost never are. So some of you have heard me say this before, but I want everyone to think about how many mopeds actually exist in New York City. The number that are registered according to the DMV last week, 1,652. Which is crazy because when I did this the first time I came before the board, the number was 4,900. Somehow we've lost 3,000 registrations in 8 months. So we're fixing that problem. I passed the bill and the governor signed it that required the mopeds to be registered at the point of sale. So you cannot walk out of the store without registering the mopeds anymore. That will stem the tide of unregistered mopeds entering our street. Obviously, we still already have many that are there. Which there's more to do with. The NYPD has seized over 12,000 unregistered mopeds in the first half of this year alone. So much more to do on that front, but we have that forward progress and we'll come back with more to do there. Only other update I want to share that's in the report is that I'm doing my town hall tomorrow. So we're gonna have a number of the overlapping elected officials. Tom DiNapoli will be there, Jerry Nadler, Chuck Schumer, if he gets back from DC, but he's already starting to, I don't think I'm gonna make it, so, we'll see. Maybe a happy surprise. Brad Lander will be there, Jumaane Williams, Keith Powers, Mark Levine, and Senator Serrano. I hope I didn't leave anyone out, and if they did, I hope they're not watching the recording. But after they give updates, I will take Q&A for 90 minutes. The bad news is we're actually already over capacity, and I would love to shove more people in there, but the fire department's gonna be very upset. So those of you who have a ticket, please come. Those that don't, you can show up. I will try, but I will only do as much as security allows me to get in there. But also why I wanted to come here and give all of you the chance for any Q&A that you have. So thank you for having me. Excited to always be working with you and happy to answer any questions.
Maya?
Thank you. I have two questions. The first one is the mopeds with MRPDCs, if they get them registered, are they able to reset the moped, or how does that work?
Usually not, and this is one of the problems with the system is that it's not all like malicious hackers not registering their mopeds. Sometimes it's people that don't know the system and the dealers are just saying, oh yeah, this is street legal, run away with it. And then, you know, something that a deliverista has invested $1,500, $2,500 in is just seized, right? That's not a system that benefits anyone. And so that's why I wanted to say, they have to be registered at the point of sale, like that is a requirement now that ends up benefiting everyone.
Thank you. And my other question is, for the real reporting for the e-bike collisions, how exactly are you going to do that? Is it just self-reporting or how?
So it's the standard collision report form that's used throughout New York State. So if there's a collision, if there's a crash, and there's a standard, you know, form that you fill out anytime there's a car accident, right now, there's no way to break out, was that a moped versus a motorcycle, was that an e-bike versus a normal bicycle, and so this is just adding more categories, so that when there are those reports, we're actually sure which vehicle was involved.
Jim, and then Antoine.
Alright, in Canada, they have a thing called, a dependent contractor. And the issue with these mopeds, I don't really care if they run red light unless they did something. Okay, and what the biggest concern is the injury and the liability. Now, most of these guys are independent contractors. If you were to sue them, you would get buckus, right? But they're driving for multi-billion-dollar companies. If they're made dependent contractors under New York state law, you would be able to bring suit against their employer, and their employer, for fear of lawsuits, would more likely tend to make them more responsible in their driving habits and hold them accountable. Is there any way we can get something like that in the legislature and in the governor's desk?
I 100% agree, and it's actually what we're looking at for next year, is different versions that we're not gonna use that exact sort of dependent contractor. There's does this make them an employee or not pieces of it, but making the companies liable and passing that through is something that we're actively looking at. There are a few bills to try to do that at the city council level that I'm watching closely. If city council passes that, great. But if those haven't been passed and signed by January, this is what we're gonna be looking at as an office. So one, making different versions of getting at this. So one is making the companies themselves liable for any traffic tickets or violations, right? As a direct, do you incentivize running red lights or going the wrong way? And two, requiring the companies to check whether, this isn't exactly liability, but making the companies check whether the mopeds are registered, right? So we can have no new ones are coming in, but the companies themselves should ensure that anyone that they're using is registered. And three, we're gonna try to go directly at the algorithms that right now reward being on time, having as many deliveries as possible, and that is what provides the incentive to run the red light, go the wrong way. And sure, if you don't hit someone, great, but no one's ever trying to hit someone, and it's the dangerous behavior that makes that worse. And so we're working on a bill that would say, insofar as your algorithm, how you reward drivers or choose who gets a certain delivery, takes into account being on time and speediness of delivery, you also need to equally take into account data on how safe they are going, which is not just violations, but also like they have GPS constantly on all of them. They know if one of their delivery people is going the wrong way on the street. And so we want to ensure that, you know, whether we're using exact from liability, but the incentives are shifted to the apps.
Well, yeah, but the liability should be on the corporation, on the delivery app. So that people who are in can sue them. Sue the app company.
I philosophically agree with you. I'm not a lawyer, I just play one on TV. And smarter lawyers than me, sorry?
I'm not a lawyer.
Okay, well, fair enough. Smarter lawyers than me have said that it's difficult to do. If there's a way to do that, let's do it. I'm philosophically with you, but if there's not a way to do it, I'm gonna try these other ways.
And Anton had a question next. Sorry to go back and forth, but he was next in the queue.
As far as registration by the dealers, are there any penalties attached to this? The dealer tries to go around the registration process, one. And two, is the registration process analogous to registering a car?
Almost identical, for the second one, and yes, there are penalties, standard with every dealer already has to be registered to sell, mopeds. My thesis, and we're looking into this now, is not all of them are, we think there are a lot that are some without being registered. We actually have a form to report that if you bump into any of them, but we're trying to investigate it more and actually working on communication with DMV to say, you know, these laws that we passed, the governor signed, they take effect 6 months later, so January 5th, they're gonna take effect. What are we doing before that to make sure everyone that's selling knows about this, has the forms is ready, and the DMV is ready to assess those penalties if people go around it? Thank you.
And Michael Ann had her hand up, please. Go ahead, Michael Ann.
Yeah, thank you very much. A couple of questions, Alex. Thank you very much for this,
see you.
getting up and talking about this. This is very important to us. As far as, is there a 311 protocol set in place? Have you communicated with 311 in terms of people reporting? Is it part of your plan in terms of people reporting about these incidences happening with the bicycles and all that?
That's a great question. We haven't thought about it. We haven't talked to 311, but a good thing to do as we think about getting that data.
Okay, and part two, town hall forum. What is your format for the forum?
So I invite all the overlapping electeds to give 2-minute updates, which usually means they give 5-minute updates, but I say 2-minute updates. And then once they're done with those, I get up there and I answer any questions people have for 90 minutes. So, yeah, it'll be fun.
Great. And Anne had her hand up and then Susan.
Oh, okay. I have another question.
Yeah, so I kind of two questions about that. One is, like guns, things cross borders easily. So people, you know, can be buying one of these in New Jersey or Connecticut or Virginia. And so it seems like that may not, there may be ways in which it doesn't help. And the other thing is, I'm just wondering how this fits in, going back to Jim's point about incentives. City Council had a whole, you know, package of bills trying to enable deliveries to have more autonomy over what orders they choose and not be penalized for not choosing order and things like that. So I'm just wondering how this all fits in with that.
Yeah, on the first one, I would never say that the mandatory registration within New York solves the problem, right? There's still gonna be some on the road, it's going to help to reduce it. It's also in particular gonna help to crack down on the online sellers that are selling into New York, because they will have to go through that process if they wanna keep doing it. Yes, people can go to Pennsylvania and New Jersey, I can't do much about that, but we can at least make it a lot harder to do it in New York. And on the New York City package of bills, there's sort of two sets. There's the current package that's thinking a lot about incentive and liability and that, and I'm excited to see where that goes. There was a minimum wage passed for delivery, says when it took effect last year, I actually forget when it passed, there was a delay before implementation, but it took effect last year. And that's a really good thing, right? Because what that means is that their compensation is not directly tied to the number of orders that they're delivering, and it reduces that incentive to run through red lights and to go the wrong way and to do all of those things. The challenge though is that the apps still have the power of who they give rides to, who they get deliveries to, and then also sometimes they just say, oh, we have enough, that's it, and you can't buy one, and so it hasn't completely eliminated those incentives, it has reduced some, and that's a very good thing. And I'm glad it passed, and I'm happy we defended it, and yeah, there's more.
And Susan, and I think this is obviously a very popular topic right now, but please.
Hi, about e-bikes, are the new regulations going to be also applicable to private property with extensive interior sidewalks and loop streets and the like? The reason I ask is I live in Stuyvesant Town, which has, a lot of acreage and used to be no vehicles allowed, but now the amount of e-bikes that are whizzing through and motorcycles, whatever they're called, are really frightening, and it's gonna be an accident soon. So are the same rules about crashes applicable?
I will speak broadly about all the rules, but everything that I just mentioned does, right? It's changing the standard collision report form that is used by the police any place there's a collision, so that would apply in private roads. And that moped registration is about before you leave the store. So all the things that we did recently do, I won't speculate on sort of broader regulations here and there, but everything we talked about today, yes, was still apply.
We'd like to move forward. Do we have any other questions? Gloria, you've got a fast question?
Yeah, it's a fast one.
And I'll take a fast answer.
So we're, in the Public Safety Committee, we're looking at what happens on the sidewalks with e-bikes and mopeds and bicycles. But there's no reporting available, it's all road. So will anything here or how the reporting is done that's gonna affect that, or help us get more data?
So it's a really good question. First of all, I know you know this, but just to reiterate, riding on the sidewalk is legal. And it's important that we keep reiterating that. For anyone over the age of 12, the kids are allowed, but you can file the same report. There actually is a place for it on this collision happened on the sidewalk. It usually doesn't happen, but that's not law or policy. I think that's just practice. So there are, if you look in the data set, there are collisions that occurred on the sidewalk that are reported in the standard collision report forms. Probably a small percentage, but they are there. No, I'm gonna take away from this the 311 or other, like, let's think about other places where we can continue to add to this data set, because, as Senator Daniel Patrick Moynihan always said, you're entitled to your own opinions, but not your own facts. This is a topic where there's a lot of different opinions. I want to make sure we're all starting from the same facts as we have that conversation. So it's a good question.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. All right, we're going to.
Thank you.
Thank you, yes. We're going to move on to Catherine Gao from the Civic Engagement Commission, who's going to give us a presentation.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. This is my first time to come here. Thank you very much for the community board says giving me this chance to let me introduce our CEC Civic Engagement Commission program. I want to introduce myself first. I'm Catherine Gao from CEC Civic Engagement Commission. I'm community coordinator. Thank you. It's very nice to see everyone here. I have to introduce very short introduction about our program. OIC Civic Engagement Commission, who are we? Next slide. Thank you. NYC Civic Engagement Commission, voters established the NYC Civic Engagement Commission through November 2018 ballot initiative that revised the NYC charter, our city's constitution. So our agency is a new agency, just until now, just 5 years. It is the first commission created by NYC voters to restore civic trust and strengthen democracy by promoting inclusive participation. Our CEC area of focusing now is the people's money, whole site language assistance program, community boards, community partnership, and education. And within this, there's a task force for racial equity and inclusion. The full name is TRADE. We have a 33 trade neighborhood in New York City. It's based on the heavily impacted by COVID, the areas, and also suffering from the historical economic conditions. So we have a very close relationship with these 33 neighborhoods. And NYC program. We currently have 25 people on staff. Our location is 22 Main Street, New York. This is our team picture, most of them in here. You can see, I'm here in between, of course, and in the middle, you can see the very beautiful lady is our deputy commissioner and executive director. Her name is Sarah Said. For the voter registration, and we provide voter language assistance. You can see from this table, you can see June 2024 primary language services. We provide 11 language. Arabic, Bengali, Chinese, French, Haitian, Korean, Italian, Polish, Russian, Urdu. You can see the large part, and from this map you can see Russian now is the largest part. And we serve 113 language service total, 90 unique poll sites, 15 early votes, 75 election day. 100% of service delivered as planned. Community boards, normally from the October and November, upcoming workshops, like ours in New York City, conflict resolution in the workplace, parliamentary procedure and community boards, monitoring and evaluation. So we will have any update and I will let you know, and you can register to attend. And last year we have the same, almost same period, we have already several, I think, several tens, community board workshops. And the last one is Tier 4. I want to introduce the People's Money, the participatory budgeting program. This grant is from the mayor's office. So far, we have 4 tiers, from Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, and Tier 4. Tier 1 to Tier 3, the application for grant opportunity already closed. Now the Tier 4 is still open. This is a very good opportunity for people, for partner. If you are very interested about this program, you can scan from the QR code at the bottom and search the website on.nyc.gov/Tier 4 and to express your interest in this $1,000 funding opportunity. There's something I like to emphasize is for the idea generation is IG. This is our phase 1. We have 4 phases. Currently, we are in the preparation of phase 1, idea generation. So CEC expectation includes, if you are interested, you want to hold this session, we hope you can secure a venue or event space for the session to be held. Providing a point of contact to coordinate with a designated CEC liaison and be present on the day of the session. Promoting the session to ensure at least 20 to 25 participants attend the IG session. But I want to explain for this part, a CEC trained community facilitator will be assigned to facilitate the entire session. It means this person will conduct the whole session. So if you as a partner, you need to be trained by CEC. We will designate one of the facilitators, we will train them to come to to conduct the workshop. And you need to provide the conference room, like the space. You need to recruit people, 20 to 25 people to attend. That's simple, I think so. You need, if you are very busy, you didn't have to obligatory have to attend the training session. So it's very good opportunity. If you finish the whole session and for all the period, by the end, you will get awarded $1,000 once deliverables are fulfilled. So if any of you is very interested about this part, you can come to me. I leave my information on the table, and I also have my name card. If you are interested, you can ask me, get you the my name card, ask for further information. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll try and follow. Anne, did you have a question?
Go away. Oh. So I was just curious, you're part of New York City government, right? To back up a little bit.
Well, the
CEC.
city agency.
So are you a standalone agency? You report to the mayor?
Yeah, department, we have this, we have the weekly report to mayor's office, and also we have to report to city hall.
Thank you.
Okay. And I must say, I've attended some of your courses, which have been very helpful.
Thank you so much.
We do, I think many of the people on the board get notices about it. If not, we can.
Yeah, we get them.
Yeah.
Yeah, the trainings are very good.
Yeah, very good. So I encourage everyone to take. Thank you very much. Now we have Marissa Yanni from the New York City Department of Sanitation. Online or?
Hi, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Just want to be sure I'm on my tablet tonight. Just really quick, my name is Marissa Yanni. I'm the Manhattan Community Affairs Liaison for the Department of Sanitation. 3 very quick updates for everyone. Number 1, starting October 6th, curbside compost collection will be coming to everyone in Manhattan. All residents, you can put your compost out in a bin that's clearly labeled under 55 gallons on the same day as your recycling pickup. So really no day the recycling goes out, you can put your compost out as well. That starts the week of October 6th. Number 2, starting November 12th, everyone that's in a residence with 1 to 9 units has to put their trash in a lidded bin. Currently, you can put your black bags curbside for your garbage, but November 12th, you have to put them in a bin. You do not need to buy the official NYC bin yet. That is not until June 1st, 2026, but you need to use a bin starting November 12th with a lid, nothing more than 55 gallons. And number 3, might not really concern everybody, but the violation amount for commercial offenders. So if you're a commercial property owner, if you have a business and you have more than 1 offense, the fine amount is going up. So for your second offense, before it was $100 and just kept going up from there. Now your second offense will be $300 and your third offense will be $500. Thank you so much. Please let me know if I can answer any questions, but if not, thank you so much for having me on tonight.
Jason has a question for you.
With the expansion of the composting program, is that mandatory for multi-unit residences to participate, or they're able to participate starting October 6th?
Yeah, so compost is officially mandatory. It will be mandatory starting October 6th because everybody, all 5 boroughs will have the service, so it will be mandatory. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Michael Ann, you had your hand raised.
Hi, thank you very much. Wondering who's giving out the tickets for these fines?
For the commercial business ones, the ones that I mentioned?
No.
That would be us.
No residents or commercial?
Yeah, that's us, sanitation.
So
Our police or.
So the sanitation department has a staff that is going to concentrate just on giving out tickets for second and third offenses.
Oh yeah, the fine just goes up. But yeah, we have sanitation police, and anybody that is a supervisor level can give a ticket. So yeah, then that's like the other third of the workforce. Yeah.
Okay, good to know. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, Sandra has a question. And then Robert.
How do the building managers or whatever, get to know about this mandatory situation? Do you inform them or do they just get the tickets? How does it work?
I'm sorry, repeat that first part, that who knows that it's mandatory? I'm sorry.
Managers of buildings get informed, that there is this new requirement, starting in October. How do you inform them of that?
Oh, for the compost, yeah, we have a team that speaks to all large property owners of like large buildings. And then my team has been going around to community boards, mailers have gone out, and other e-blasts have gone out as well. So yes, we've been communicating with as many people as possible as we can.
Okay.
Okay, Robert had a question.
Hello, what is the timeline for larger buildings to enact the compost? Like, for example, buildings with, 40 residences, is there a timeline for that?
So compost, that's for every single type of building. The residential containerization for units that are 10 units or more, that will start later in 2025. We're starting with 1 to 9 units for this November 12th, but later in 2025, I'm sorry, I don't have the date in front of me. We will come back around. That will be for 10 or more unit buildings, larger buildings.
Great, I think that answers all the questions. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much. Have a beautiful evening, everyone. Thank you again.
Next, we have Eric Straza from District Attorney Bragg's office.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Eric Straza. I'm a supervisor of community engagement for the Manhattan DA's office. Happy to be here with everyone tonight. Just had 2 quick updates I wanted to put on everyone's radar. First is that we'll be holding a hate crime briefing alongside NYPD's Hate Crime Task Force and the Community Security Initiative for Jewish organizations, rabbis, and other synagogue leaders. It will cover things like the hate crime statute, support services, and resources for those looking to enhance or implement security strategies in advance of the High Holy Days. If you know of anyone partnered with the community board or any organization who might benefit from joining, please feel free to let me know and we can shoot them an invite. Otherwise, I know that this group has heard me talk about our Art of Healing festivals in the past. Essentially, they are opportunities for the community to come together and support victims of crime, particularly violent crime, and victims of gun violence as well. We'll be holding one in the East Village in Tompkins Square Park on October 5th. I know it's not necessarily this area, however, they are all borough-wide events. So if anyone wants to join, please feel free to come and support your fellow community members. It's a way to heal or help your community members heal through the arts. So there'll be a lot of things like spoken word, food, music, dancing, arts and crafts. It's a really great place to bring children as well. And we encourage all who's interested to attend. And we'll also be having we'll be putting out an official flyer soon for anyone who wants to help get the word out. I think that's it. Once again, that'll be on October 5th. And happy to answer any questions on that. Yeah, I think that's all I got. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. I don't think we have any questions this evening. So we'll move on. Next, we have Joanna Sanchez from Assemblymember Epstein's office.
Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is having a good night. We do have some updates. We have our shredding event that's actually taking place tomorrow in Tompkins Square Park. And feel free to contact me if you have any further questions about it. You also have an upcoming movies in Tompkins Square Park as well. The next one will be Wednesday, September 25th as well. It has been a great turnout. And we have an upcoming Recycle Your E-Waste event that is October 20th. And you please feel free to refer to our newsletter. And if anyone has any questions or concerns, I'm going to put my information on the chat and I'll be here. Thank you, everyone.
And do we have any questions for Joanna? Seeing none, we'll move on. Thank you. Next, we have Justin Flagg from Senator Kruger's office.
Hello, everybody. Nothing to add to our report, but if you want to see the reports from the last 2 months when we didn't have board meetings, you can go to our website, which is kruger.nysenate.gov or lizkruger.com, and happy to take any questions.
Luckily, we don't have any questions for you this evening. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Next, we'll go on to Peyton, and I'm going to butcher your last name. So I was going to say Peyton, from Senator Gonzalez's office.
Hi, I'm Peyton Schultz, and no worries about not knowing how to pronounce that. I'm from Senator Gonzalez's office. I don't have anything to add to our report this month, but happy to take any questions.
Do we have any questions for Peyton, who managed to get in person? Great, you're off the hook. Thank you. Next, we have Hannah Weinerman from Congressman Nadler's office.
Hannah Weinerman from Congressman Jerry Nadler's office. Congress just went back into session on Monday, so I'll have more legislative updates for you next month. I did want to flag in our report that free COVID tests are being sent by the federal government starting the end of September. I'm not sure the exact date they'll be released, but you can get information at covidtest.gov. If you have any questions, you can feel free to contact our office. Additionally, if you have any casework requests or any issues with federal agencies, make sure to reach out at nadler.house.gov or give us a call at 212-367-7350. Happy to answer any questions.
How long will the COVID testing?
So I have to check, the website will have more information. They're figuring out the date structure at the moment. They're figuring out the date structure at the moment. All the information will be on the website, but we'll also include it in the next report that we give to the board next month. Thank you.
Next up, we have Patrick Hill from Councilmember Power's office.
Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone's had a wonderful summer. Thank you for having me. I don't have any additional updates on top of the report that we submitted, but if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to take them.
Do we have any questions for Patrick? No, we do not. Thank you. So we're
Thank you.
on to Evelyn Collado from Controller Lander's office. Also here in person.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to present tonight. We'll be sending our newsletter later this month, but I wanted to highlight our new dashboard is the employer violations dashboard, and it includes any violation by an employer in the private sector, including those working under city contracts in the city of New York, and that has been investigated by any government agency at city, state, or federal level. We have a complete data set that can be downloaded, and also the dashboard is interactive and you can search by employer name. We are happy to come by and present or train the board on how to use it, as well as our other dashboards like the climate dashboard or the corrections department. There's several of them that we are open to share with the board. Thank you again, and have a good evening.
Great. Oh, we have one question. Anne?
Not really a question, you suggestion. I wonder if it's just worth putting.
Oh, sorry, and yeah, you need the microphone.
I'm just wondering if it's worth putting links to those dashboards on our website.
If you give us the links, we'd be happy
for
put it in our
for
newsletter.
resources.
Absolutely. Yes. Great. Thank you. And Michael Ann, you had a question?
I actually have my hand up for Peyton, if that's possible.
She's still here.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Peyton, I just wanted to ask you if what is the update on opening any sidewalk opening space by St. Barton Park and as well as the closed gate area, which we had met about last year?
Yeah, I know the senator is continuing to work on that, trying to, the governor's office and the MTA, that, about that. Fenced off green space. I unfortunately don't have any more concrete updates at this time, but I'd be happy to touch base further offline.
And nothing on open streets?
Not off the top of my head at the moment, but I can double check and see.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Thank you. And now we have Katie Loeb from Councilmember Rivera's office.
Hi, everyone. I'm Katie Loeb from Councilmember Carlina Rivera's office. No updates, but we will have an e-newsletter going out tomorrow that will have breaking news that wasn't included because it hasn't happened yet. So sign up for our newsletter if you don't already.
Thank you.
Well, tomorrow's the city council stated meeting, so legislation is introduced and passed and it hasn't happened yet, so stay tuned. We gotta count those votes first.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Any questions? For Kate? Okay, great. Thank you so much. We'll stay tuned. We now have Tevin Williams from Republican Goldman's office, a representative. I'm sorry. Terrible slip there. Representative Goldman's office. Hard to follow that, right? Okay, you didn't hear it. Okay.
Hello. Hi, I am so sorry. I was raising my hand and now I'm gonna lower it. Tevin Williams from Congressman Dan Goldman's office. Nothing to add to my report, and as I've always said, y'all in great hands with Congressman Nadler, but we do have some constituents that we represent here. So I submitted the report earlier. Happy to answer any questions and thank you for having me.
Do we have any questions? Great, okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Also, Christian Williams from the mayor's office is with us, but he says he has no formal remarks to make unless we have any questions. Gabe is a small question or short question.
Thank you. This is actually regarding a project just outside our district, but it goes to the mayor's thinking, the 8th Avenue sidewalk expansion. The mayor said he wants to unwind it because these will accommodate double parking on 8th Avenue. We really need to think about how he's thinking about pedestrianization projects. I'm sorry, in our region. So I'm curious if you could shine some light on that.
I'm sorry, I wasn't able to hear the entire question. Do you mind if you could repeat that again? I apologize.
Yeah, absolutely. So the mayor said he was thinking of unwinding the 8th Avenue sidewalk expansion, which I know is just outside of CD6, but we are curious how he's thinking about pedestrianization project more broadly, and particularly on the east side. Can you comment on the mayor's recent comment that he wants to undo the 8th Avenue sidewalk expansion to accommodate double parking?
I don't have the answer for that, but I will double check and get something report to you as soon as possible. I don't want to speak out of turn, so I want to make sure I get the proper information for you.
Great, thank you. And we'll present that at our next meeting once we have that. Thank you. We're now going to move on to the public session. And I believe we have some people who've signed up, but I'll pass this over to Jason.
All right, yes, we do have some signups. We have Deborah Baldwin. Deborah Baldwin, do we have her here? We also have Braha, who's raising her hand. So we can, so the VP's office actually has a special place on the agenda, and over the last, some time, we've been sort of letting them go with the elected, so we can figure out where to put, we do see you, Braha. Deborah Baldwin, last chance. I don't see her. All right, we'll move on to our next speaker, who is Ashani Rodriguez from Friends of the East River Esplanade, who wishes to speak about updates on the Esplanade and upcoming events. Ashani, are you here?
Hi, yes, I'm here. How are you?
Great, you have 3 minutes to make your remarks.
Yes.
You may begin now.
Yes, good evening, everyone. I just wanted to update everybody on our upcoming events at Andrew Haswell Green Park at the Esplanade. We do have 3 live music events coming up at the ACOG Pavilion, Andrew Haswell Green Park on 60th and the waterfront. We have one coming up the end of this September on the 28th with a band called Lillimore. And we also have free kids activities that we always provide, free arts and crafts, activities, free ice cream from A La Mode. Then we have another live music celebration. It's called Salsabration, with live salsa and salsa lessons for everyone, which will be amazing. We'll also have our free kids activities as well. And then we have a huge live kids Halloween live music with free face painting, free arts and crafts. We'll have also fitness activities and many more things for the kids. So please bring anyone that you know out. Everything is free. It will be a great time. We also have our bird walks in partnership with NYC Bird Alliance that will start next week on the 18th. So we have one on September 18th and we have another October 9th. We also have a Learn to Fish with the New York State DEC that will be by 96th Street in the waterfront, just north of the Marine Terminal. So our newsletter will be going out this week, so please look out for it. And then if anyone would like to sign up, please email me at executivedirector@esplanadefriends.org. I also wanted to update everyone on the complaints that we have been receiving regarding the lights on the Esplanade. There have been many lights that have been out, unfortunately, and we've been advocating and being pretty much communicating as much as we can to the Parks Department to get this resolved. And we have actually received some feedback from the Parks Department. They have been on site with the DOT and they found the problem. So now we're just waiting on new parts to repair the lighting on the Esplanade. And we have just been advocating as much as we can for any issues that we've been receiving via email. So yeah, if you guys have any questions or would like to sign up or anything, just let me know. Like I said, my email is executivedirector@esplanadefriends.org.
All right, thank you. Next on the list is Jennifer Wagner also from Friends of East River Esplanade. She might have something additional to add. Jennifer, do you have additional remarks?
Nothing additional to add, just we hope to see you on the Esplanade at all these great events. Thank you.
Great, thank you. That concludes our public session speakers list for tonight. Shall we move on?
Yes. Braha from the Borough President's Office, if you'd like to make your report.
Hi, sorry for my lighting here. I don't have so much to add to my report, but I recommend that you look into it to hear a bit about our policy work on ghost cars and fake license plates to make our streets safer, and our leadership training series, which is going to be including some mandatory and optional trainings for community board members. And if anybody would like to march with our office in the African American Day Parade this Sunday, please reach out to the events email in the report as well.
Do we have any questions for Rob? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving on. The minutes from the June 12th full board meeting were distributed to board members ahead of time by the board office.
Yeah,
If
I'm
there's
gonna log
no-
off in like 2 seconds, just in case somebody has
Oh,
questions.
sorry, you're not muted there, Ashani.
I'm so sorry.
No problem. If there's no objection, we will adopt the minutes as drafted. Board members, if you object to adopting the minutes, you may raise your hand. Seeing no objections, the minutes from the June 12th full board meeting are adopted. They will soon be available on the CB6 website. A member of the board has requested revisions to the June 14th, 2023 full board minutes regarding the discussion on the proposed bylaw amendments. The proposed revision to the minutes will remove reference to disciplinary action. If the board agrees to this, we will vote on this. And I think we'll do it by a show of hands. All those who agree to the amendment, if you could please raise your hand. And maybe those who disagree, if they raise their hand, and we'll take account of that. 1. What, 2? Oh, we're for disagreeing with making that change to the minutes. We don't have anyone who disagrees? Excellent, thank you so much. We'll make those revisions. Chair's report. Thank you for everyone who attended the chair's dinner. We will plan another get together soon. We had a very eventful summer with 16 resolutions to review, so we're going to get to those. All our new members have joined committees, and we look forward to the enthusiasm and fresh ideas that they're going to bring to the board. It is a tradition at CB6 to retake our oath of office with the new members, and I have asked Jesus to lead us in the oath. I believe we stand for this.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Everyone who's a member of CB6.
All right, everyone, if you will repeat after me. And raise your hand, raise your hand. I do solemnly swear or affirm
I do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
The Constitution of the State of New York.
the Constitution of the State of New York,
And the New York City Charter.
and the New York City Charter.
The New York City.
And that I will faithfully discharge the duties of.
And I will faithfully discharge the duties of
The office of member of Manhattan Community Board 6.
the office of member of Manhattan Community Board 6,
According to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my abilities.
That's it.
Great, thank you. Thank you. With the CB6 bylaws, I've appointed an elections committee. The elections committee is tasked with running the election for CB6 officers that will take place in November. For more details on the duties of this committee, please see section 3 of the bylaws, which can be found on the CB6 website. I have appointed Marion Roth, Kevin O'Keefe, and Ann Seligman to serve on the elections committee. Marion Roth will serve as the chair of this committee, and Marion will now say a few words about the election process.
So much better than the podium. Welcome back, everyone. Also tradition, chairs come with scripts, and I've got a script to read for all of you, but it's a short one, I promise. As indicated in section 3A2 of the CB6 bylaws, if any eligible board member is interested in running for any officer position, that member shall submit their own intention to run to the chair of the elections committee in writing by 5 p.m. on September 25th, 2024. That is 10 business days from today. You may send your written intention to info@cb6.org with intention to run in the subject line. The CB6 office will forward all intentions to run to the elections committee. After September 25th, nominations can only be made from the floor at our October full board meeting. If there are any questions, please contact info@cb6.org, and the CB6 office will direct your questions to the elections committee. As a reminder, the elections committee serves to oversee the technical process of the election and to ensure compliance with the board's bylaws. We are not consultants for anyone's candidacy. Additionally, while you are welcome to include us in your outreach to share your thoughts on the future of CB6 and the community we all serve, please know that as members of the elections committee, we must remain neutral and cannot make a commitment to vote for or favor any candidate. And I really want you all to know who's on this elections committee. So it's Kevin, and in the back, and me. And since most of you probably don't have my email address, but you're supposed to email me some good news, you're gonna get an email from the office either later today or tomorrow with me CC, so you can just reply all and let us know that you're interested in running and in which position. And I encourage all new board members to run. Thank you.
It's there now in your inbox. It's right in.
Okay, Jesus, our district manager, Jesus Perez, our district manager, will now give a report.
Got a lot of reports today, so I'll go ahead and wait when you want my report. I'll do exactly what the news was.
Okay, Gabe Terza will now give the treasurer's report.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, according to the Office of Management and Budget, as of September 3rd, 2024, the CB6 budget is $606,639, and that includes street fair money. Of that money, $231,767 is encumbered or already liquidated. The encumbered funds break down as follows: $177,905 for rent, $40,514 for personal services, and $13,347 for other than personal services. Unencumbered money is currently $374,871, of which $137,446 is street fair funds. Thank you.
Okay, we've now arrived at the committee reports and resolutions. A reminder that the same rules stated at the beginning of the meeting still apply. Members of the public, please note that during this section of the meeting, we only recognize questions from members of the board. The CB6 staff emailed the digital ballot to all members. Please click on the link in your email the office sent to open this ballot, select your name from the drop-down list, and select your vote on each resolution as they are presented. At the end of the meeting, please submit after you've indicated all your votes on your ballot. Do not submit prior to the end of the discussion on all of the proposed resolutions. You will not be able to submit the ballot unless you vote on every resolution. If you plan on abstaining, please select abstain. The final vote counts will be announced after the second roll call. If you have any questions, please raise your hand and we can address them.
Sandy, there was one point. We had an over-eager member who sent in their ballot earlier today. That isn't allowed, so we deleted that ballot. So if you know who you are, you'll have to submit it again.
Yeah, we're supposed to be discussing them. It's good that they read them, whoever it was. Land use and waterfront, Michelle Abdul Samad is chair. And Gabe Terzo is going to.
Yes, okay, so we have two very interesting resolutions regarding Innovation East and Spark. These are the culmination of many months of work with our friends back here at EDC regarding the zoning changes for these two fantastic projects. The committee has sort of come to the conclusion here are overwhelmingly positive projects in terms of job creation, keeping New York City at the forefront of the life sciences sector. However, we do have some concerns we wanted to address in the reso regarding particularly housing affordability, MTA service being adequate to the increased congestion, activation of nearby parks, protection of flora and fauna in nearby parks, and local active retail, extended hours of operation. And a memorandum of understanding, and this is important to the office, for some permanent community board space in these facilities. We do have a couple of tiny changes we need to make before we can vote on them.
Okay, regarding line 24 of the Innovation East reso.
Will you give us a second? We've been having technical difficulties all night, so give us a second.
Okay.
Brendan will have the reso up very soon.
Okay, there we go. So the first change is line 24.
Yeah, line 24, we'd like to be a little more specific and have it read, the proposed project is expected to create approximately 1,114 new permanent jobs in the described sectors.
Is that accurate?
Yes, I believe so. Okay. Line 56, we're gonna change that to, this very small change, we're just going to say 3% of the revenue earned.
Attained.
3% of the revenue earned by the city from Innovation East is committed to enhancing, nothing has changed. And then the next one is actually for the Spark reso, we're gonna take line 53, the Innovation East reso, copy and paste it, just change Bellevue South Park to Bellevue Sobriety Park.
Okay, so copy this from line 53 of Innovation East and put it into Spark.
Yeah, and this was all, discussing it, so it's boilerplate.
Yeah. Just give me a moment. Should I share the Spark reso right now?
Let's go ahead and vote on that Innovation East first, if we could, please. And there's discussion, Eric, do you want to?
Thank you. I just wanted to bring up one item on Innovation East, and I realize it probably won't get into resolution tonight, but something I think that's important for the board to look forward to, and for the folks at EDC. It's Mount Carmel Place, which is a small road that runs parallel to First Avenue, and it's really not in much use. And it connects to Bellevue South Park, and as we're going through this process of a large change in the neighborhood and potential rezoning and votes, I really think there should be considerable thought given to pedestrianizing Mount Carmel Place. It's a strange block that nowhere else in the city exists. And right now, there is no connection between the park and a lot of the other open space in the area. So hopefully that's something as a community and a community board we could consider in the future.
I mean, I think you're preaching to the choir. I think we've described in these meetings about Carmel Place as a double parking bonanza. But my understanding, and EDC, correct me if I'm wrong, is that it's necessary for the loading dock. So as a sort of compromise to this, we would ask for pretty aggressive activation, lighting, things of that nature to make it less uninviting.
I just add one small point then? Yes.
No, thank you for that point, and agreed on the loading zone, but that probably encompasses, 20% of the block. So the other 80%, I would urge to rethink the use of a double parking bonanza. So yes, how do you accommodate the loading zone and allow for entry and exit while giving the rest of that back to the community for use and extension of the park?
Kevin.
I feel like I could just talk to you about the mic. Normally, this type of rezoning requires, MIH, mandatory inclusionary housing, affordability requirements. I just want to be clear, are we waiving that standard procedure?
No, we're not, it's in there, we're just not including any affordable housing, but per the law, the MIH is required in the zoning.
So this is not to try to dismiss or otherwise circumvent that?
Correct.
Thanks.
All right. If there's no objection and no further questions, we'll now vote on the resolution. Please mark your digital ballots. And if we can go to Spark now, please.
Which line is it again?
So we're gonna take, line 53 from Innovation East and take that bullet point and put it into the, resolve clause of Spark and change Bellevue South Park to Bellevue Sobriety Garden.
Okay, which bullet point in the resolve, does it matter?
I'm indifferent, I think.
Not the first one.
The second.
Second one. Sorry, the first one is Dear Dweller Hearts, I think, the housing.
So Bellevue Sobriety Garden.
Yeah, and just for some context, here we've asked them, to just be considerate of the fauna, flora and fauna of these gardens for generations to come, and understand that the Bellevue Sobriety Garden is a community amenity that really means a lot to a lot of people, and we really would love to see it protected.
Are there any questions on the resolution? Eric?
So just to repeat, with maybe less emphasis on Spark, is 25th Street is a road that right now connects Astor Levy with Spark. And I feel like there's lots of opportunities to try to bring those two projects together in a more integrated way. And, right now, 25th Street is just a highly problematic road for children who are crossing over as cars race off the FDR Drive. And I just think further thought should be given to that. I understand that it's a road that's in greater use, but, whatever thoughts we could think about making it one way, making it only one lane, just different things to make it easier to connect Astor Levy with Spark. Thank you.
Larry?
Eric, I previously recommended that the reconstruction of the bridge across the FDR Drive include a flag over to Astor Levy to allow for children that you're speaking about to access what's now going to be Spark.
If there's no further discussion, we'll now vote on the resolution. Please mark your digital ballots. And maybe while you're doing that, Gabe, do you have a report or an event?
Well, we're gonna talk, we were gonna speak about the UN Greenway. I think we're gonna hunt on that next month. However, everybody's favorite use of, the East River, the water club. Is in a state of flux. So if you have thoughts about how we should use this piece of land, please attend our October meeting. We have already, taken some preliminary, public feedback, and there is a lot of, there's demand for more increased public space, improved, things like bike trails, public transit. People have requested things like an eatery, but it really is something that our elected officials have advised us to weigh in proactively on. So if you do have thoughts about that space, please, let us know, particularly by our October meeting, so we can put it in a resume and get it in front of our elected officials. And thank you. Any questions?
We will be putting. We will be putting the link to that water club survey in the chat for everyone. And it's on our website, on our homepage.
Okay, next up, we have Jason Fromowitz from Transportation.
Good evening. We have two resolutions, for this evening. The first one is, thank you. The first one is on, the resolution to support effective bike lane on First Avenue tunnel between East 40th Street and East 39th Street. I'll do about that implementation on that has already begun, but we do have that purpose.
Anna, you had a question?
I have so many concerns about this plan that I cannot support it in conceptually. I'm especially concerned about the mixing zone. And I saw in the letter that it was a whereas saying, you know, this is being tried during the general assembly, which is well, already passed, like I'm already like suffering the consequences of that. And to say that it worked well during the general assembly is a little disingenuous because there's no other traffic. Like First Avenue is basically closed in the so I'm afraid I can't support this, and I'm really sorry to hear that the implementation is already been.
I can just address some of those concerns. In terms of the committee discussion on this, there's a number of concerns the committee raised with the plan. We felt that it was necessary to move to support. We wanted to support this as it was proposed, given the limited opportunity we had for it to be implemented. Just sort of told by us, by DOT, that it was now, or it would be many months, if not years from now. But our approach was to support this for the initial implementation, and we would go back. We expect to go back to DOT and ask for improvements and modifications after it's implemented. So I think looking at the exit and the entryways are definitely something that I would expect the committee to be taking up in an upcoming meeting.
Thanks.
Brock?
All right, hey, everybody, welcome back. I've been riding this tunnel every day now, even though it's not done, just to kind of report back to you what it's like, and it's actually awesome. There's no intersection, so it's much safer, there's much less conflict zones, and you know, all the e-bikes that people were worried about at the beginning, they're underground now, there's no conflict, so better for pedestrians. And for the drivers, there's no loss of lane because they had to merge anyway. So it prevents bad driving where people, you know, speed on the left and get into the right. So honestly, it's a win, and the transportation committee will keep an eye on this and just keep making resos to make this safer, and we make a lot of recommendations for it. But I would urge you to vote yes, because you know, honestly, it's pretty awesome.
Mine?
Just a quick question, is the adding the protection, like extending the Jersey barriers all the way through? I know they're.
My understanding, yeah, so my understanding, they have not finished placing the barriers yet. My expectation, understanding from the presentation was that the barriers were gonna extend to the full length of the tunnel. I don't believe those are there right now. I believe that that's just because they haven't finished it yet.
Okay, so that's not related to this one, that's from our previous one. Only approved.
It's the same resolution.
Same rate.
Oh, okay.
If there's no further discussion, we will vote on the resolution. Please mark your digital ballot.
And while you're doing that, on to this next one. Next resolution we have is supporting NYC Economic Development Corporation's application to the Environmental Protection Agency's Clean Ports Program. Quick summary of this is that it is a grant request to electrify some ferries and set up the infrastructure and the purchase of the electric ferry.
Any questions? If there's no objection, we'll now vote on the resolution. Please mark your digital ballot. And you have a report?
Yeah, just a brief report, while you're voting. So as I mentioned, the tunnel, bike lane, is started implementation. We encourage folks to go check that out. Also excitingly, the improvement that we had, passed a resolution supporting previously, expanding the bike lanes, and offsetting the bus lane on Second Avenue. That work has partially been completed, primarily north of 23rd Street. Looks great. The bike lane is very wide and spacious. Feels luxurious to ride in. Encourage everybody to go check that out. And that's it.
Did you want to mention something?
Yeah, sorry. I was trying to find exactly what I wanted to say. So the East Midtown Public Realm Governing Group has recently issued an RFP on a project to expand the medians in the 40s. I don't remember the exact bound, but it's a small section of Park Avenue where there's a plan to take over one lane of traffic on each direction and expand the medians. And the RFP is to ask for designs and landscaping on how those medians will be designed with the expansion. Transportation Committee is expecting to discuss this further in terms of what how we could best influence that process, and what we think we would like to see in that redesign once the RFP is completed.
Great, and the reason we're involved is because the East Midtown Governing Group gave $1 million to support the RFP, which is part of it is part of the, in our district in that sense. Any questions for Jason? Okay, we'll move on then to Business Affairs and Licensing. Anton Mullner, Chair.
Thank you. I'd like to bundle items A through G. Which are very straightforward, new temporary retail permits for liquor and or change in license from cider to liquor for those establishments. Looking at them, the applications are all more, and I would recommend that board do approve those items A through G.
Jason.
Motion to bundle.
Jason, okay, he seconds the motion to bundle. Right, we have a third and a fourth. No, are there any questions on these then? Well, we can go ahead and mark your digital ballots, please. Oh, Jim?
And I'm just wondering what the nature of the objection was to the cannabis.
I haven't gotten to that.
No,
I haven't
no.
gotten to that yet. I will.
Okay, so.
I'm very sure, but.
Okay, go for it, Antoine.
Okay, item H, general liquor, state liquor authority allows up to 4 one-day applications for events. We have been asked to approve, the liquor board will approve if we say it's okay to have more than 4 one-day license events for the applicant. And they came to us and asked for 2 more, make 6 one-day alcohol events permits. Basically, they have shows at the, I believe it's called the Brew House on, basically art shows, and we had an objection to that. They're very quiet, they don't have bands or beer, bands or anything like that, so we will recommend, or we have recommended in our committee that the state liquor authority make an exception and provide for 6 one-day alcohol events in the space of 1 year.
If there's no objection, we'll vote on the resolution.
I'd like to bundle I and J, which are basically resolutions for sidewalk cafes. Most of these establishments have had these sidewalk cafes for many, many years, and this is something that we would have no issue with. Chateau 49 at 49th Street Second and the Pete's Tavern down on 18th Street in Irving. Again, long time, members of our community, no issues there.
Eric?
Thanks, I'm just wondering how long these permits are in effect for.
4 years.
Thank you.
Jason?
Okay, the last was.
Well, Jason had a question, sorry.
Sorry.
Just a question on the sidewalk permits. Were these the only businesses that requested, the street of the outdoor dining? Or there others to come?
I don't understand.
Are these the only, applicants that we have in our district for,
So
outdoor dining?
we haven't had any sidewalk requests for a long time, as I recall. These are the first two for this year, so
There will be more, but for now, this is it.
Got it, that's, thank you.
Okay, if there's no objection, we'll now vote on those bundled resolutions. Please go ahead and mark your digital ballot.
And the next resolution, K, there's no objection for a cannabis license for the retail dispensary on 34th Street. And I think Kevin, you had a question?
I don't.
Jim did.
I'm just wondering what, it said in the resolution that there was objection from some members of the community. I'm just wondering what they said.
They said there were too many cannabis shops in the community. Unfortunately, all the other cannabis shops are here.
If I may, there were other comments. I happened to listen to that meeting.
Oh, Kevin, wait, let's let Kevin get the
Yeah,
microphone.
just because there were other issues. To be clear, these were not my issues that they were brought up, so I wanted to be bold with the feedback. One gentleman said it's too close to a public park. It's between First and Second Avenue, between 35th and 36th Street. It's also within 300 yards of a building that houses the Mariel bilingual elementary school. It is within 300 yards of church. I know it's supposed to be 200, but I wanted to throw that out there because there are a lot of comments in that meeting.
It's feet, not yards.
What's that?
Feet, not yards.
Sorry, you're right. I stand corrected, feet. So it's a bit closer than I just described.
Yeah, I mean, this was discussed in this particular establishment, was working with the Cannabis Control Board for, what's it called, distance protection. And if in fact it did not, if it did fall within those parameters of being within 300 or 500 feet, then they could not get the license, as I recall.
Yeah.
And I just heard one more thing. They said that the two addresses they put in the application were wrong. One was on, I think, 14th Street, and one was actually addressed to the CB6 office as their place of business.
That was going to be corrected, as I recall.
We're expanding into new businesses.
We've got to make money somehow. Sarah, you had your hand raised?
Yes, I did. I'll corroborate what Kevin has just said with regard to the commentary that was, that we had during that meeting. First of all, there were two errors in the application which were of concern. That the address was put as the CB6 address, and also East 14th Street is a big distance from East 34th Street. I think that the vendors had said they would correct that, but I think that's a serious error. And also corroborating that there's a park nearby, there's a church nearby, and there's a school nearby. So anyway, those are the reasons for the opposition.
Just a comment, some of our applications we get for liquor licenses, we find errors in them. And the question is, are they significant or not, or can they be corrected? We felt in this case, that was that situation.
Great. All right, if there's no objection, I don't see any more questions. We'll now vote on the resolution. So please mark your digital ballot. And do you have a report, Anton?
I want to say that the illegal shops appear to be getting closed down on a more rapid pace. unfortunately, coming back from the meeting, I realized that a new shop opened up a block and a half away from our office. I reported it, I haven't had a chance to go down there and see if anything has been done, but we continue to have this situation of a mold. We may close down 2 shops, another one will open up. I understand the city's closed more than 600 shops, but there are more than 2,800 or 3,000 illegal shops still out there.
Yeah, and just for some commentary, the office is aware of that particular shop and has reported it to those Office of Cannabis Management, Department of Finance, etc. So,
And if anybody notices an illegal shop opening up in their particular vicinity, the Office of Cannabis Management has a link in their webpage that you can report this address, location. They even have a space that you can, if you take a picture, download the picture of the shop.
Michael Ann, did you have a question?
It's not a question. Can I make a comment about this cannabis location?
We've actually voted on it already.
Okay, it's okay. I did too, but okay, thanks.
Also, voting is closed, so it's kind of
A moot point.
a moot point at this, yes, at this time. All right, thank you. Okay, any questions for Anton? Great. Our final resolution, which came out of the executive committee, this is a resolution supporting the Japan Society's application for federal funding to create a Midtown International District cultural plan. They came to Jesus and I think a day before the grant was due, so we made 2 days. We made a decision that we thought would be good for the community to be participating in this kind of support for our cultural institutions. Not all of the cultural institutions are inside our district, but we certainly have many. So if there are any questions on the resolution, happy to answer. Jim?
Just any idea of what they're planning to do?
Well, it's not a very large amount of money, but what it is really getting these institutions to come together and talk about how they can support each other and really try and advertise this as a district that people could come to for international culture. Okay, if there's no objection, we'll now vote on the resolution. Please mark your digital ballots. And then, since we've finished discussing all the resolutions, you can now submit your ballot. Next up, we have public safety and sanitation, Sue Desser.
Evening. So we had 2 topics at our last meeting, both perennial issues that we hope to make not perennial. The first already worked its way into the opening discussion at the meeting tonight, which is bicyclists. I think primarily commercial riders on motorized bikes and scooters riding on the sidewalk. We had a productive discussion with our 13th precinct commander, who spoke both pragmatically, I think, and bluntly. And I think we concluded that the conventional enforcement approach that hasn't worked for 20 years will continue to not work. So at our next meeting in November, Gloria and Michael Ann and certain guests, if we can lasso them in, will be considering better ways. The second, also perennial topic, is sidewalk sheds left up indefinitely. That's, of course, an issue that a number of elected officials have taken on, but so far nothing's really happened. And it's Sandy's rather interesting suggestion. We'll look at how we can address this, not globally, but just within our district with perhaps the worst offenders. So lastly, also for our next meeting, we hope to discuss sanitation in our district generally, and containerization, as we heard in particular. There are still some issues that we want cleared up. But we're still working to draw data and information from DSNY and 311, which is not unlike trying to suck peanut butter through a straw, I guess. But we're, we need this to do our work, and the city will have to play with us. So we're not meeting in October because the date conflicts with a holiday, but we are in November. So thank you.
Any questions for Stu? All right, moving on, we have budget and governmental affairs. Nad?
Yeah, sorry, I'm on video. I would say the main thing discussed at our meetings, we're looking at the redistricting process that's going to be upcoming. We're starting to think about what that means. The one thing I would want to emphasize for everybody here today is just to get your budget requests in. We have our meeting on September 30th to sort of finalize that. That's when our public hearing is. The one thing I would reiterate, I know I've spoken to committee chairs, I know Sandy sent an email to committee chairs about this too, is please fill out those additional criteria we added. They're pretty easy. There are 3 criteria we added. You can list them as high, medium, or low. The real reason for that, we're trying to get a better way to basically rank the requests as we consulted them from all the committees. It's really helpful just to give budget committee more information. So just remind everybody to get that done. We're meeting on September 30th. We'll do a public hearing then. So we'll be also taking public input then as well. But really just be helpful for us as we try to rank those requests and really get that last push to get these submitted.
And I would also encourage everybody to take a look at the budget requests and just see if they're still valid and if there's any editing of the information. Sometimes it's pretty broad, and if we can be more specific, I think it's going to be very helpful. Health and environment, LV Russell.
We didn't meet in the summer, so I don't have anything to report. But I would like to introduce our 2 new members. It's David Levy and Movin Siddiq. Welcome to our community. Thank you.
Okay, parks, landmarks, and cultural affairs. Neil Barkley.
All right, good evening, everyone. We did not have a meeting in September. We will have a meeting in October the 1st. We will be discussing pickleball at Vincent Albano. So there's a possibility of putting a pickleball court there or having basketball. Residents have voiced their concerns about this, particularly the noise. It is a distinct noise with pickleball. I've gone out and listened to pickleball, so if you see me in the community stopping, standing, sitting, that and basketball, comparing both. So residents, they have some concerns about that. There is those, individuals who are in favor, and there are good things with pickleball, interact with the community, exercise, you can meet friends, and apparently it's really good for dating. So, yeah, Kevin O'Keefe with St. Barton was actually in the New York Post where it said it's, really good. People meet each other, and there was one girl that says she even wears mascara now when she goes out and plays pickleball at St. Barton. But all joking aside, so we would encourage everyone to come out, and anyone else who is also, concerned. Pickleball is definitely an issue, and we would love to get as many people there as possible, and we can have a resolution and present it to the full board, but we just wanted to get it right. We want it to be the voice, the opinion of the, of the community. And if you guys are looking for dates, speak to Kevin.
It's all organic. I am married.
Yeah. You got time for dates?
All right, youth and education, John DeRico is the chair. He's not with us this evening, and neither is his vice chair. Housing and homelessness, Rich Mintz is not with us this evening, and there was no meeting this month. So we're on to all the new business. If you have any older new business to say, please raise your hand. Oh, reminder to submit your ballots. And, I know this meeting was a little bit longer than we usually have, but, welcome back. I think we accomplished a lot, 16 residents.
Yeah, at the May, meeting, we have voted to, oppose the, resolution that was passed by the Community Education Council for District 2 to exclude trans girls from sports teams in K-12 school. And there's a the minority of people who have voted against that resolution for, the Community Education Council for District 2 have a new resolution to rescind that resolution. And they're having their meeting next Wednesday, September 18th, and we want people to come and support the resolution.
Thank you. If there's no additional or new business, the secretary will conduct, oh, sorry, Jim, sorry.
And this is with respect to the unique situation of today. We have 2 parks in our community district that are named for people who have basically political backgrounds. It's Albano Park and Murphy's Brothers. Murphy's Brothers is famous for creating the phrase honest graft. And I don't know, given the number of people that we lost on 9/11, including police officers from the 13th precinct. I'm just wondering if perhaps your Parks Committee might take up and reconsider naming some of those names. There's one Democrat, there's one Republican. The guy was Vince Albano, was a Republican county chairman. Murphy's brother.
So you want to keep Albano and give
No, no. Community will actually, matter.
Yeah.
We can, please give it some
Reach
thought.
out.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, any other new or old business? All right, we're going to let Lydia take the Lydia take the roll call.
Members, I will now call on you for a second roll call. If you have not submitted your ballot, please do so now. If you are unable to use the digital ballot, CD6 staff will ask you for your vote on each of tonight's resolutions. Majed Abdul-Samad.
Present.
Tanya Arias.
Present.
Kyle Fade.
Present.
Neil Barkley.
President.
Martin Barrett. Elvie Barosa.
President.
Jim Collins.
Here.
Jonathan Dorico. Stuart Desert. Beatrice Disman.
Present, sorry.
Maya Donahue.
Present.
Robert Fairfin.
Present.
Brock Friedman.
Present.
Jason Fromwitz.
Present.
Eric Goldberg.
Present.
Justin Goldberg.
Present.
Gloria Hage.
Present.
Rabia Iqbal.
Present.
Paige Judge. Rupal Kakad.
Present.
John Keller.
Present.
Nadeem Kalani.
Present.
Katie Longa.
Present.
Sandra Leftoff.
Present.
David Levy.
Present.
David Lowenstein.
Present.
Anton Mulner.
Present.
Sandra McKee.
Present.
Alec Militic.
Absent.
Richard Mintz. Kevin O'Keefe.
Present.
Reshma Patel.
Present.
Stephen Perez.
Absent.
Miriam Ralph. Michael Amro. Michael Amro.
She's here.
Okay. Roberto Ruiz Melendez.
Present, sorry, my mic was muted.
All good. Lawrence Shayer.
Present.
Anne Seligman.
Present.
Sandra Sherrod.
Present.
Lydia Shrednick. Present. Mubin Siddiqui. Letty Simon.
I'll give you my ballots. You ready? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. 1A and B is yes.
One second.
Sure.
One A and B.
1A and B is yes. 2A and B is yes. 3 and 3, J and K no. All the others are yes.
J and K, no.
and the others are yes.
Take all those.
And four is yes.
Second. Four A.
Is yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Susan Steinberg. Mike Thompson,
Present.
Gabriel Churza, James Vera, Jerry Weinstein,
Present.
Sarah Whittington,
Present.
Peter Zeddy.
All right, let's count some votes. All right, resolution 1A is the one on Innovation East, with 40 in favor, 1 opposed, no abstentions, and 1 not entitled. It passes. Resolution 1B is the resolution on Spark. 41 in favor, 1 opposed, no abstentions, no not entitled. It passes. Resolution 2A on the First Avenue Tunnel, 35 in favor, 6 opposed, 1 abstention, no not entitled. It passes. Resolution 2B on the NDDC EPA's Clean Ports Program, 42 in favor, unanimous, it passes. Bulk Reso 3A, 42 in favor, unanimous, it passes. Bulk Reso 3B, 42 in favor, unanimous, it passes. Bulk Reso 3C, 42 in favor, unanimous, it passes. Bulk Reso 3D, 42 in favor, unanimous, it passes. Bulk Reso 3E, 42 in favor, unanimous, it passes. Bulk Reso 3F, 42 in favor, unanimous, it passes. Bulk Reso 3G, 42 in favor, unanimous, it passes. Bulk Reso 3H, which is the one on the 6 one-day alcohol events, 40 in favor, 1 opposed, 1 abstention, no not entitled, it passes. Bulk Reso 3I, which is the sidewalk cafe license for Chateau 49, 41 in favor, 1 opposed, no abstentions, no not entitled, it passes. Bulk 3J, which is the sidewalk and roadway cafe license for Pete's Tavern, 41 in favor, 1 opposed, no abstentions, no not entitled, it passes. Bulk Reso 3K, which is the cannabis dispensary license, 26 in favor, 11 opposed, 5 abstentions. It passes. Executive Reso 4A, the one on Japan Society, 42 in favor, unanimous, it passes. That's it.
No, I think if there are no objections, we'll adjourn the